Mojo!
Welcome to another Mojo Memorization Masterclass. Today we're going to help you plant some plant tissue functions in your long-term memory. Yeah, apologies about that one. We're firing up your visual memory, so you really need to see the characters and scenes from this story in your brain if they're going to stick there long-term. Right, here we go. Palisade mesophyll. Most photosynthesis takes place in the palisade cells where there are many chloroplasts. You're on a visit to Buckingham Palace, probably to pick up a medal for your incredible GCSE results, when you spot Prince Philip. Philip, or Phil, is known to the Queen as Messy Phil because he's so prone to creating a media storm with his inappropriate comments. She'll find herself saying, "Things are going to get messy, Phil." Now he's retired, Messy Phil fills his time as a palisade, giving tours of Buckingham Palace. He does this as he loves to be in photos, and this job gives him photo opportunity after photo opportunity. It sounds a bit like photosynthesis, doesn't it? All Phil asks in exchange for the photos are pasties. But instead of meat, he likes them full of claws. Claw pasties. Remind you of chloroplasts? So, to get this in your mind, visualise Messy Phil, the palisade, where photo opportunities take place all because of claw pasties. Spongy mesophyll contains air spaces which allows gaseous exchange. Messy Phil is not generous with his money. He sponges off everyone, the claw pasties being an obvious example. So he's spongy Messy Phil. They may be tasty, but the claw pasties really upset his stomach. Exchanging gases, he calls it. That's not what I call it. It's not a pretty sight watching spongy Messy Phil as he burps and farts his way around the palace, exchanging gases. Phloem transports sugar through the plant. To freshen his breath after a claw pasty, Phil chews gum. After a while, he starts spitting. Great big gobs of phlegm. The phlegm flies right across the palace. It transports the sugary food from one side of the room to the other. So you've got to imagine phlegm transporting sugar and food substances from one place to another. Phloem transports sugars from leaves to growing tissues and storage tissues. All this phlegm becomes too much for the Queen. She angrily tells Phil he is disgusting and insists he spits his phlegm into tissues. So he does, and he fills tissue after tissue with sugary spit. So remember, the phlegm is transporting the sugary food substances into the tissues. Xylem transports water and minerals up the plant. The pile of tissues grows higher and higher and looks more and more disgusting. Eventually, the pile starts to topple, and it falls heavily on a xylophone being set up by the orchestra in the Palace Cafe. When the tissues hit the xylophone, huge jets of water squirt out of the instrument up into the air, transporting the snotty water and minerals from the tissues up into the air with them. So imagine a xylophone squirting water and snotty minerals up in the air. The transport process is called transpiration. The snotty, mineral-filled water falls back down all over the pile of freshly baked pies on the cafe counter. The chef is furious. That was nearly all her pies. She no longer has enough for everyone. Angrily, she puts up a sign on the bar saying, "Pie ration. No more than half a pie each." Pie ration. That should help you recall transpiration? So imagine, lots of pies ruined by the snotty water, leading to a pie ration. Epidermal tissues. Transparency allows light to reach the mesophyll for photosynthesis. The upper epidermis secretes a waxy cuticle which reduces water loss. Just when it looks as though everyone will go hungry, a superhero figure bursts through the window, flies around the room and lands on the counter next to the pile of wet pies. "Hey, it's Spider-Man!" the Queen cries. "Hey, Spider-Man. That make you think of epidermal?" Spider-Man's suit is not only skin tight, but it is transparent. Take a photo opportunity and the light goes straight through his suit. Not nice. But there's more. The top half of his suit is covered in a waxy layer that won't let the sweat out. So Spider-Man can't lose moisture through his waxy suit. he is a sweaty, water-filled mess. So imagine superhero Spider-Man in a transparent suit that lets in all the light, plus it has a waxy layer that means all the sweat is kept inside. Meristem tissues in plants can differentiate into any kind of plant cell throughout the life of the plant. The combination of messy fill, phlegm, the xylem phone and the Spider-Man has left the palace visitors on an incredible high. A merry storm of emotion, food and flash photography. But what happens next is truly extraordinary. As you watch, you see the crowd is magically splitting in half and doubling in size again and again. The new and growing crowd is made up of every different kind of person you could possibly imagine. So, did you get that image? A merry storm of emotion and the crowd splitting to produce new, different people. Whew, wow, I feel exhausted after all that. The good news is that is all you need to know on this topic. The table on the screen now shows what we've covered. In fact, it gives you more details on specific locations and adaptations than we've covered in the video, so make sure you view it or download it. And please make sure you test your recall straight away with the worksheets and quizzes on the site. The Mojo Minute is there to give you a short, concentrated version of the story, only when you're ready for that. We will email you when you need to review this video. Please make sure you do that. But for the moment, thanks for using your imagination.